We are live at the Bristol International Balloon Fiesta with pilots and balloons from around the world. Join us later as we take to the skies at around 10 to 7.
Very good morning to you, John. It's always such a spectacular sight in those wonderful clear skies you've got this morning.
Yeah, certainly is. As you can see, the balloons, we think about 50 or 60 balloons taking off this morning from right around the world. There was a bear-shaped one from Taipei in Taiwan. The shaped balloons are a lot more difficult to fly, so when the conditions are a little bit iffy, you won't see them. But that's a huge square balloon, of course. That would be the equivalent of driving a bus compared to driving a racing car for some of those sports balloons. The one that Pete Gregory used to fly, for example. You'll see pink ribbons on all of the balloons. They're there in memory of Pete, and his name was mentioned in the pilot's briefing this morning when they had a couple of moments of reflection. It's a small family, really, hot air ballooning in the UK, despite the fact that there are balloons from around the world, and racing balloons especially a very tight-knit community. So Pete's death has been very, very hardly felt. Let go, give a bit of a wave down to the ground. We are up and above Ashton Court, chasing the pack that's just behind us here, taking off. You really do ascend really quite quickly, and once the burners are quiet, are turned off, it actually becomes quite quiet. Joe, I firstly want to ask you about Pete Gregory. You know the family extremely well.
Yes.
His dad flew for you, and so did
Yes.
Pete. And it's a small community and a very safe activity, isn't it? Accidents like this are thankfully extremely rare.
They're very extremely rare, and it was just very sad. No one knows exactly what happened at the moment. Pete was an amazing balloonist and an amazing pilot, so it's a very big, sad loss for the community.
And it's really, as we say, heartfelt, isn't it, across the ballooning, and you're raising money to try and get this balloon to try and inspire the next generation. We know something that's something the family were very passionate about.
Oh, definitely, because Pete's been in ballooning all his life, and he's grown up with so many people here, and he just wants people to actually experience that himself, and other people who haven't got the money to or can't afford to get into ballooning, and that's what they want to do.
Well, it'll be a great way of keeping his legacy alive and keeping his memory alive. We're just coming up above Ashton Court now. John, just give us a shot down here so we can see the pack flying across the city of Bristol. If you know Bristol, you'll see that that's the Avon Gorge just ahead of us there. You'll see the water just behind where those red buildings are a leftover from Bristol's heritage as a trading port, tobacco warehouses, things like that, the bonded warehouses. Just up onto the ridgeline there. You'll see to the left, if we keep going a little bit higher, possibly, and a little bit further forward, you'll just about see the top of Brunel's suspension bridge. But that is an incredible sight. It's one that in Bristol are very familiar with, to see this mass ascent, 50, 60 balloons, something like that. Ashton Gate Stadium, the home of Bristol Rugby, Bristol Bears and Bristol City Football Club just below us. And there's that square balloon that we were showing you in the introduction there, just down below us. An amazing morning for it. I think we've just about beaten the weather. Some nasty grey clouds behind us, but sunshine up ahead. Anyway, more from us later on here at the International Balloon Fiesta after the news, travel and weather, where you're watching breakfast this morning.